Fordson Model N Standard. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the 1930s, a challenging period with the consequences of the Great Depression, followed by the approaching war years, American farmers had to fight not only against nature, but also against the times themselves. But in the midst of those difficult days, there was a silent, persistent, and resilient companion, the Fordson Model N Standard tractor. Manufactured from 1929 to 1945, the Fordson Model N was more than just a machine. It was a symbol of change, a revolution on the field. And for many American farmers, it was the first machine that took them from manual farming to mechanization. The Model N was born to replace its legendary brother, the Fordson F, but not to overshadow it, but to inherit and then rise above. With a 4.4-liter four-cylinder engine producing about 26 horsepower, this tractor ran on gasoline or kerosene, a popular and economical fuel at that time. In particular, its simple but durable structure allowed it to operate in many harsh conditions, from the red soil of the Midwest to the arid fields of the Western Highlands. But what made the Fordson Model N so memorable was not just its technical specifications, but the spirit of the era it represented. It was a familiar image in the foggy mornings when farmers stepped out into the fields, their hands gripping the steering wheel cold, but their hearts filled with determination. It was the warm sound of the engine resounding throughout the countryside, signaling the beginning of the planting season. It was the iron wheels pounding on the hard ground, each rotation a step into the modern era. Especially during the years of World War II, when food was needed to be continuously supplied to the front and the people, it was the Fordson Model N that stood on the front lines, without guns, without armor, but with the strength of steel, oil, and dedication. At more than 102 inches long and weighing in at around 3,600 pounds, it was a sturdy yet easy to maintain machine. Many of them are still operating today, nearly 90 years old, at vintage machine shows across the country. And each time they appear, they not only remind us of technology, but also evoke memories of a generation of hard-working, industrious people. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fordson Model N Standard was not the most powerful or fastest tractor, but in the hearts of many who used to farm, it will always be the best tractor, in the fullest sense of the word. Because it not only helps farmers cultivate, it helps them keep the faith, keeping a golden age that we, who have passed through nearly a century, will never forget. If you still have an old photo or have been told about this machine, please share it below the video. We want to preserve those stories, because every Fordson Model N, every person who has ever driven it, is a part of American history. Ferguson TE20. If there was a tractor that could do wonders, not with muscle power, but with design sophistication, with bold innovation, it was the Ferguson TE20, or as people affectionately called it, Little Gray Fergie. Born right after the end of World War II in 1946, when the world was still struggling to rebuild, when farmers needed more than ever a reliable tool to revive the land, the Ferguson TE20 appeared as a silent savior. Harry Ferguson, a man who was not a mere engineer, but an inventor with a vision beyond his time, understood that agriculture did not need a huge roaring machine, but a smart, simple, and efficient machine. He launched the TE20 with only about 23 to 28 horsepower, but equipped with a 3-point hydraulic suspension system invented by himself. And that innovation forever changed the way people thought about tractors. Before the TE20, tractors were all about pulling, but with the new suspension system, the TE20 could handle attached equipment like plowing, tilling, or harvesting with ease, precision, and safety. The operator did not need to be a mechanical expert, but only a heart attached to the soil and a pair of hard-working hands. That was enough. The Ferguson TE20 was not the most powerful tractor, but it was the smartest one of its time. In rural Kansas, Iowa, or Ohio, there were seasons when farmers would start their harvest with the TE20's signature pop-pop sound, and then just work all day. No fanfare, no flashiness, just perseverance, precision, and reliability. With its lightweight and compact length, the TE20 was suitable for both small and medium-sized farms. It can maneuver in tight spaces, go through soft dirt roads after rain, and is especially easy to repair. No computer, no software needed, just a wrench and a little knowledge to master. And thanks to that simplicity, tens of thousands of TE20s have been exported from England to America and around the world. It not only plows the land, but also sows hope, especially in the lands that are recovering after the war. For our generation, those who have witnessed the miraculous transformation of agriculture, the Ferguson TE20 is not just a tractor. It is a part of history, a symbol of innovation without losing the soul of the farmer. It is the image of the father of the past sitting on the TE20's iron chair, wearing a baseball cap, looking far away as he plows each furrow straight into the ground. It is the deep but warm, steady sound of the engine, like the heartbeat of an entire generation of American farmers. If you still have a Fergie or have memories of it, please leave a comment below this video, because those memories, those stories, are what keep this little tractor alive, not just in history, but in our hearts. Fordson E1A New Major. Today, I would like to invite you to go back in time, back to the early 1950s, an era of agricultural transformation, when the American fields were not only cultivated by diligent hands, but also by powerful, durable machines, machines that have become an unforgettable part of the memories in the minds of many farmers. And among the myriad of names of that time, there was a legend with British blood that left a deep mark on American soil. That was the Fordson E1A New Major. First launched in 1951 at the Royal Smithfield Show, the E1A New Major was an excellent continuation of the previous generation of Fordson. But it was not just an upgrade, it was a quiet revolution, bringing agriculture into a completely new era. With a 4-cylinder diesel engine, more than 3.6 liters of capacity, approximately 40 horsepower, the E1A New Major was born to conquer vast lands, bountiful crops, and even the harshest challenges of nature. Each of its explosions, deep, solid, is like the heartbeat of the land being revived. Unlike the small tractors of the pre-war era, the E1A New Major has a full, sturdy body. It weighs 5,308 pounds, a block of steel built to last for decades. On that simple iron seat, farmers can feel a quiet power, when with just a steering wheel and a gear lever, they master the whole field. On an autumn morning in Iowa or Kentucky, when the dew is still on the grass, the E1A rolls out of the barn to start a long day of hard work. The furrows are turned neatly. Each row of corn is planted with almost absolute precision. And when the sun sets, the farmer sits wiping the sweat from his forehead. Behind him is the machine that has fought with him all day long. The special thing is that despite its power, the Fordson E1A New Major is easy to operate and maintain. People can repair it themselves in the warehouse without the need for engineers or computers. It is an asset that can be left to their children and grandchildren, and many people have actually done so. Ladies and gentlemen, today, in a world full of complex technology, many people return to find lasting values. And for those who lived and worked in the time when a tractor was their whole life, the Fordson E1A New Major is not just a name, it is a symbol. It is the image of a father pushing his sleeves up, climbing onto the machine in the cold, early morning wind. It is the wheezing sound of an old engine that never fails. It is a memory of a time when American farmers were attached to the land, to the sky, and to a tractor that accompanied them through many seasons. If you still have memories of this Fordson E1A, please tell us about it below the video. Because sometimes, not all machines are just steel and gears. There are machines like the E1A New Major that are powered by love of work and memories. Massey Ferguson 135. If there is a tractor that can encapsulate the spirit of 1960s agriculture, it must be the Massey Ferguson 135. A name that is not too loud, not too ostentatious, but has quietly accompanied millions of American farmers for a long time, sticking together as a friend, an irreplaceable companion. Born in 1964, a time when the whole world was changing rapidly, the MF-135 appeared as a new symbol of durability and innovation in the field. During those years, when the Beatles were playing on the radio and Neil Armstrong was preparing to step on the moon, on the other side of the barn door, farmers still started their day with the characteristic sound of the Massey Ferguson engine. The Massey Ferguson 135 is equipped with a 3-cylinder diesel engine from Perkins, AD 3.152, compact but powerful. With more than 45 horsepower, it was powerful enough to pull, haul, and plant, yet economical and easy to maintain. In an era when production costs were a burden, the MF-135 was a rational choice and a reward for hard work. I remember sitting next to my grandfather, a farmer in Illinois, as he drove his bright red MF-135 through the rows of corn. His hands rested lightly on the wheel, his eyes thoughtful but calm. He didn't need to look at his watch. He knew the time by the sound of the engine, the vibration of the steering wheel. Perhaps to him, like a wristwatch or an old baseball cap, it was a part of him. No automatic transmission, no digital display, just a mechanical gear shift, rock-solid foot pedals, and a thick steel frame that could withstand a harsh winter. But it was that simplicity that made it reliable. And until now, after more than half a century, thousands of MF-135s are still rolling, still working, still plowing the land, sowing seeds as in the beginning. There are machines that are born to be forgotten, but there are also machines like the Massey Ferguson 135, born to become part of the collective memory. It is a familiar sound every early morning. It is a companion throughout youth. It is the image of your grandfather on the red machine, gloves on, eyes looking far away across the vast fields. It is a memory, but a living memory. Today, you may have retired. Maybe the MF-135 in the warehouse has been carefully covered with a tarpaulin. But if one day you remove that tarpaulin, turn the key, hear the first explosion in the wind, I believe your heart will also vibrate like the first time back. If you still remember the smell of oil on your hands, the low-backed iron chair of the MF-135, or simply the steady sound of the engine in the golden afternoon, please share with me below. Those stories are what make us never forget the machines that have written our lives with us. Ford 6600. When talking about the 1970s, a period of transformation for America in agriculture, there is one name that is always mentioned with respect: Ford 6600. A tractor is not simply a working device, but also a living testament to the tenacious and creative working spirit of American farmers in a time of change. Born in 1975, the Ford 6600 stepped onto the stage when the American countryside was undergoing rapid change. It was a time of more modern mechanization, of expanded fields, and of a strong demand for versatile machines that could handle a variety of tasks, from plowing, sowing, to harvesting. And the Ford 6600 did it, amazingly. With a powerful 4-cylinder diesel engine with a capacity of 4.2 liters, the Ford 6600 produced up to 75 horsepower, an impressive number for a medium-sized tractor at that time. But what people remember about it is not the number, but the feeling when you step on the clutch, put it in gear, and hear the engine roar, steady, strong, like a promise that every job will be done. I still remember clearly, in the fall of 1978, my uncle in the suburbs of Kentucky had just bought a brand new Ford 6600, dark blue, high frame, big muscular rear wheels. The whole village came out to see as if witnessing a new milestone in farming. And from that day on, the output of my uncle's farm increased significantly, not only because of its pulling power, but also because of its reliability. The Ford 6600 rarely broke down, was easy to maintain, easy to use, and especially extremely durable. The 8-speed transmission and optional 16-speed power shift provide flexibility on any terrain. The strong hydraulic system, powerful PTO, and especially the impressive pulling capacity make this machine suitable for small farms in the Midwest to the vast fields of California. Many people call the Ford 6600 the tractor of the practical age, not flashy, not complicated, but strong and effective. It is the reflection of the American farmer of that period, hard-working, persistent, and not afraid of hardship. Today, if we have the opportunity to come across a Ford 6600 still working or lying still in a corner of the warehouse yard covered with a layer of time dust, we should stop and take a close look, because it is not just a machine, but a memory, a whole period of history that has passed. A time when machines did not know about touchscreens, but knew how to talk to the operator with the sound of the engine and the stability through each crop. If you have ever sat behind the wheel of a 6600, felt the solid steering wheel and high seat, and driven it through rows of summer corn, then I believe that machine is still in your heart, like a part of your memory that never fades. And if you still have a Ford 6600, do not let it sink into silence, because sometimes just restarting the old machine is enough to recall a time of hard work, but full of pride. I would be happy if you would like me to tell you more about the tractors that changed the face of American agriculture. Please leave your sharing or memories, because it is your stories that make history live forever. From the resilient Fordson Model N, the groundbreaking Ferguson TE20, to the powerful Fordson E1A, the durable Massey Ferguson 135, and the modern Ford 6600, each tractor was more than just a tool. It was a silent companion through the seasons. If these memories resonate with you, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and notification bell, so that together we can preserve the timeless rural values. See you on the next journey.
A wide wing model.